Hey guys, this is Gantium. Welcome to WTN Celebrity. Subscribe our channel for more updates. John Robert Thompson Jr. September 2, 1941, August 31, 2020, was an American men's college basketball coach for the Georgetown Hoyas. In 1984, he became the first African-American head coach to win a major collegiate championship when Patrick Ewing led the Hoyas to an NCAA Division I national championship over the Houston Cougars. Thompson was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame and National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame. After retiring from coaching, he became a radio and TV sports commentator. Thompson played college basketball for the Providence Friars and earned honorable mention All-American honors in 1964. He was selected in the third round of the 1964 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics. He played 2 seasons for the Celtics, who won an NBA championship in both seasons. Thompson became a high school coach in Washington, D.C., before coaching Georgetown for 27 seasons. Thompson was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and was a practicing Roman Catholic as a child. His mother insisted on sending him to Catholic schools for the educational opportunities and academic challenges. Citation needed at Archbishop Carroll High School. Thompson emerged as a standout center, playing in 3 consecutive city championship games, 1958-60. In 1959, Carroll all-Mets Thompson, Monk Malloy, George Leftwich and Tom Hoover won over Cardozo 79-52. The next year, Thompson and Leftwich led the Lions over the Ollie Johnson-Dave Bing-led Spingarn, 69-54. During his senior year, Thompson led Carroll to a 24-0 record, preserving their 48-game winning streak along the way. Carroll capped off the undefeated 1960 season with a 57-55 win over St. Catherine's Angels of Racine, Wisconsin in the Knights of Columbus National Championship Tournament, with Thompson pacing the Lions with 15 points. Thompson finished the season as the top scorer in the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference, averaging 21 points per game. After graduating from Archbishop Carroll, Thompson went to Providence College, where he played on the 1963 NIT championship team with Ray Flynn and was part of the first Providence NCAA tournament team in his senior year in 1964, when he received honorable mention from the Associated Press for its All-American team. Upon graduation, Thompson was the Friars' all-time leader in points, scoring average, and field goal percentage, and second in rebounds. Citation needed. Currently, Thompson is 11th on the all-time scoring list at PC, 4th in scoring average, 6th in field goal percentage, and 3rd in rebounds. He was drafted in the 3rd round in 1964 and played 2 years in the National Basketball Association (NBA) for the Boston Celtics from 1964 to 1966. At 6 feet 10 in, 2.08 meters, and 270 pounds, 120 kilograms, he backed up Bill Russell, the Celtics star center, en route to 2 championships. Nicknamed the Caddy for his secondary role to Russell, he averaged 3.5 points and 3.5 rebounds in 74 games played. He retired in 1966 to begin a much more successful career in coaching. Before retiring as a player in 1966, Thompson was selected by the Chicago Bulls in that year's expansion draft. Georgetown. Thompson was the head coach at St. Anthony High School in Washington, D.C. from 1966 to 1972, racking up a 122-28 record. After coaching St. Anthony, Thompson was hired to become the head coach of the men's basketball team at Georgetown University, where he spent the remainder of his Hall of Fame career. Thompson, an imposing figure on the sidelines who towered over many opposing coaches and players, for that matter, was often noted for the trademark white towel that he carried on his shoulder during the games. Inheriting a Georgetown team which had been 323 the year before, Thompson quickly and dramatically improved the team, making the NCAA tournament within 3 seasons. Over the following 27 years, Thompson's Hoyas went 596-239.714, running off a streak of 24 postseason appearances, 20 in the NCAA tournament and 4 in the NIT, including a 14-year streak of NCAA appearances from 1979-1992 that saw 3 Final Four appearances in 1982, 1984 and 1985, winning a national championship in 1984, and narrowly missing a repeat the next year by losing to underdog. He won 7 Coach of the Year awards. Big East, 1980, 1987, 1992, United States Basketball Writers Association and the Sporting News, 1984, National Association of Basketball Coaches, 1985, and United Press International, 1987. Thompson coached many notable players, including Patrick Ewing, Sleepy Floyd, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, and Allen Iverson. Under Thompson, 26 players were chosen in the NBA draft, 8 in the first round, including 2 players selected first overall, Ewing by the New York Knicks in 1985 and Iverson by the Philadelphia 76ers in 1996. Confronting drug lord in the late 1980s, Thompson got word that several of his players, including Alonzo Mourning, were associating with noted Washington, D.C. drug lord and avid Hoya fan, Raphael Edmond III, whose crew was connected to at least 40 homicides. At the height of his empire, Edmond became very friendly with several Hoya's players. When Thompson confirmed what was happening, he sent word through his sources to have Edmond meet him at his office at McDonough Gymnasium. When Edmond arrived, Thompson was initially cordial and informed Edmond that he needed to cease all contacts with his players post-haste, specifically John Turner and Mourning, both of whom had befriended Edmond. When Edmond tried to assure him that his players were not involved in anything illegal, the 6'10" Thompson stood up and pointed his index finger between Edmond's eyes. Thompson, known for his volatility, quickly boiled over and unleashed a profanity-laced tirade in which he told Edmond that he did not care about his crew's violent reputation or propensity to commit murder. Edmond had crossed a line with Thompson's players, and Thompson was not going to allow Edmond to destroy the players' lives. By all accounts, Edmond never associated with another Hoya's player on a personal level. It was believed that Thompson was the only person to stand up to Edmond without consequence, initially causing some shock and surprise that there was no reprisal. 1988 Olympic team Thompson, who had served as an assistant coach for the gold medal winning team in the 1976 Summer Olympics, coached the last collegiate U.S. team at the 1988 Summer Olympics. Although favored to win the international tournament, the United States was narrowly defeated by the all-professional and experienced Soviet Union in the semifinals 82-76, marking the first time the United States did not reach the gold medal game. The team proceeded to win its final game against Australia to secure the bronze medal. On January 14, 1989, before the start of Georgetown's home game against Boston College, Thompson walked off the Capitol Center floor and turned coaching duties over to assistant Mike Riley. Thompson was protesting the NCAA's Proposition 48, which would prohibit scholarship athletes from playing their freshman years if they failed to qualify academically. On January 8, 1999, Thompson announced his resignation as Georgetown's head coach, citing marriage problems. He was replaced by longtime assistant Craig Esherick, a popular players coach. Citation needed. Thompson was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame on October 1, 1999. Esherick was fired in 2004 and replaced by John Thompson III, the old coach's eldest son. At the time, the elder Thompson was serving Georgetown in what Rev. Leo J. O'Donovan, university president, referred to as a coach emeritus position, assisting on academic, athletic, and community projects. Citation needed. John Thompson III coached Georgetown until 2017. John Thompson Jr. 2 seconds younger son, Ronnie Thompson, formerly an assistant coach at Georgetown, was the head coach at Ball State from 2006 to 2007. After retiring from coaching, Thompson continued to be active in basketball as a commentator for both professional, mainly for TNT, and collegiate games. He hosted The John Thompson Show, a sports talk show on ESPN 980 in Washington, D.C., until February 2012. He worked with former Washington Redskins tight end Rick Walker and producer Chuck Sapienza. He is perhaps best remembered as a commentator for having begun interviews with the statement, "Let me ask you a question." Citation needed. He signed a lifetime contract with Clear Channel Radio and Sports Talk 980 in February 2006. Thompson left ESPN 980 in March 2012 to pursue other broadcasting opportunities. He continued to spend a lot of time around the Georgetown basketball program, including traveling to road games and participating in press conferences. Thompson was supposed to be on American Airlines Flight 77 on September 11, 2001. The flight deliberately crashed into the Pentagon on Arlington County, Virginia near Washington, D.C., killing all 64 people on board. His place on the flight was cancelled. 10 years later, he would reunite with the booker who removed him from that flight on The Jim Rome Show. Thompson died on August 31, 2020, aged